Everybody. Before we get into this very important update, I want to go over a quick overview of what's going on across the markets. First, the crypto market is literally, it's at its breaking point right now, and a lot of people have been waiting for a collapse. We're at a breaking point right now. We are on the verge of a collapse. Bitcoin is sitting at just about 27,920, but it's putting in a little bit of a bearish formation. We have an M that's appeared across most of the patterns. I'll show you it on XRP and Bitcoin. But it's starting to look a little more dire here. We'll take a look at the total crypto market cap as it's starting to reverse down here a little bit as well. We had a little inverted head and shoulders yesterday that we talked about. It played out overnight during the overnight trading hours. But it got rejected harshly and actually reversed back down and created this M formation. So we need to take a very close look at that. So if you're trading, if you're in the market, I'm about at my breaking point about to short Bitcoin. So we're getting to that point right now. So I'll show you a quick overview of why I've made that, or why I'm getting to that point in my head, that this is getting close to the opportune time with about a 1% risk. So I'll show you what I'm talking about to look at the charts, because it's starting to get to a very critical level, and we're about to get a break point here. So make sure to hit that like button as I play the intro, as it does greatly push me through the analytics. And I'll catch you on the other side of the intro. Good mid-afternoon, 3:14 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Saturday, April 8th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Excuse me. So as we can see, Bitcoin's at about 27,952. Nothing much has changed since we talked last. The reason why I haven't put in short yet on Bitcoin is because of this little formation that it started creating in the shorter time frames. But if this fails and we start to reverse back down, I'm considering it. But it's a very harsh time, and I don't typically like to futures trade. It's just sometimes you get into these opportunities where it's a very small risk. And I would only put a stop loss right here. So if it broke back above 28,180, I would be out already. But even if you bought here, your stop loss right here is not even 1%. So if you're betting $1,000, it's less than $100 risk on a 10x bet there. So those are the kind of positions I like to personally be in. We can see as we go into the 45, the 1 hour, we can see what looks to be an M formed here. And we don't know if this is the conclusion of some kind of trap here, or if this is where we're ready to pull down, because this is an awfully big bear flag that has formed here. Let me get out my drawing tool just to make it a little bit easier. But we had this drop down in that. Interesting. I still got this out for some reason. All right, here we go. This is a bear flag. And now if we drop, we should come down here. This should be your next layer that we come down to. That uptrending support around that 27,200 level. So now if you were to take a gamble here, and you say, all right, we'll buy it 27,962. Comes down here on a 10x trade, that's a 25% move. If you get stopped out, you lose 0.73%, which is 7.73%. And that comes out to about $73 on a $1,000 bet on a 10x trade. So you're risking $73 to make $250 approximately minimum. But I wouldn't advise you to do that. That's just if you're like, I'm getting bored, I'm sitting here, I got a little money left on the futures trading and I don't know what to do with it. That's what I would do with it if I was looking to trade Bitcoin. Conversely, you could do it the opposite way, but that's just if I was going to short the market, that's the route I would go. Just because it gives you a very small window. And then if it does reverse back up, you know what? You give it a shot. But you have to have the capital to do it. I'm not saying go out and just spend your money that's in XRP to short Bitcoin. No, this has to be a separate portfolio. Now, we've looked at Bitcoin, and basically your two options right now in Bitcoin, since we talked about it, It looks like to me if this forms this M and this bear flag is confirmed, and that would be a break below this low right here, 27,730. We should be able to come down to 27,200, 27,240 area to make our next decision. But if we break through that, that's when real fun stuff can start happening. That would be a quick and decisive drop all the way down to 25,186. It's just tough because technically you could say Bitcoin, is this a Bart Simpson top? It sure as hell looks like it. But as I've stated before, if it's not and it's trying to trick us, we want to have eyes on both sides of the market. Because what if it does come up in here and then it uses it as kind of like a left shoulder and pops up into here? You know, I'm all for, though, and I'd be rooting for it to just pull down, give us the Bart Simpson top, and just end this already. So that's what we're looking at. Is it going to pull up? You'll know if it breaks above here or breaks below here. That channel is so tight, but it's worked. It's been a fitting channel. So that's what we're paying attention to. So just be cautious. No matter what you're doing, whether you're going long or short, I'm not a financial advisor, so you might as well just kick me in the nuts. I wouldn't listen to me. But if the charts are making sense, you might want to pay attention because this is starting to reverse down very quickly. And even if you're just a technical trader and you don't understand the charts, you know it's not a good sign when you start losing that blue line right there, which is the 200-day, and the hourly, especially the 2 hourly when you start reversing down again. We lost the 20-day. This would be the starting point of a fall here, ladies and gentlemen. And this would prove the right shoulder. So what do I always teach everybody? If you've been in here in any length of time, when you take the elevator up, you take the stairs down. And that's exactly what we're doing. It appears we're taking the stairs down. The only option here would be where we're going to come back up, and we already retested this overnight. We came up. Or yesterday, and then into the overnight hours. We already retested 52.22 twice. Boom, boom, fail. Now if we do, we drop down here. That's the thing, like, we have a drop point here where we can come all the way down. Not necessarily to that 442 or the 432 just yet, because we have to come down to the 494. But that's how you start to proceed to the next level on XRP. And I've tried to, show the bullish scenarios and the bearish, but we're starting to run out of time here, folks. We needed to make a break point somewhere in here. We need to prove if we're going to make a break up, a miracle break up, you have to make that a left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then somehow this is going to have to bounce out of here. But if this loses it and you lose the 52.22, then you got 494, 482, then you got nothing really. So that's what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a warning of sorts. Like, pay attention. Yeah, some people in the comments will be like, oh, one time you come out and say, could this be a bear trap? One time you come out and say it's about to crash, it's a collapse. That's because depending on where you're sitting on top of some of these formations and the shorter moving averages, if you're starting to reverse the pattern, you've got to hold the reversal. Every time XRP or Bitcoin or crypto, for that matter, looks like it's going to do that, it falls right back under. And you only fall so many times at these support levels without breaking through. So Bitcoin's got to make a decision and make it quick. And if it breaks to the downside, these are the levels that I've shown you. If XRP breaks to the downside, this is what you have to pay attention to. And if it breaks to the upside, you know the levels. I've given you both sides of it, but right now I would lean bearish. I would lean bearish with the eyes on the fact that this could be a big bear trap, but I would still lean bearish just because I think it could be forming a bear trap. In the smaller parts of my brain doesn't mean that that's what's going to play out. In fact, I'm more than likely going to short this once Bitcoin gives me this final signal. And especially I've been waiting for the total crypto market cap to break through the 1.139 before I short Bitcoin. And the reason why is if it breaks through the 1.139, and it would be, typically you would wait until the rejection up here, but I'm actually going to do it on the breakthrough. I didn't do it initially when it pulled down because I want to see it actually break through here and start pulling down. But if it does, this is going to be a very harsh drop. And it could come all the way down to the 1.095. And that's the problem with losing this support. There's not really anything in between. There's not. We can act like there is, but there's not. And if this has failed, this would be a very bearish signal. So that's why I'm more inclined to short the market. But doing it in a concise way, we're at the pattern formation right now. It's a 0.73% risk. On a 10x, it's a 7.73%. And if you're using $1,000, it makes it a $10,000 trade and you're risking $73. That's just as flat as I can make it. And I don't normally talk about shorting or long in the market, but there's certain spots where, to me, the risk reward, it's there. But at the same time, if this pulls up, you lose 73 bucks. You know, and if you're willing to take a risk, obviously that's the smallest amount of a risk you're going to generally take on $1,000 trade. You're not going to get that small of a gap generally. It's just the way the formation is set up, where we're trading, and just what's going on with the broader market. Bitcoin just happens to be at that crescendo point where you have an opportunity to actually short the market if you want to and have a very limited risk upside, because my stop loss would be right above this formation, literally. Because if that M formation cracks, well, then this is all for nothing. But right now you'd be basing it on the fact that it created this M, and that's very bearish. You'd be facing the fact that you got this M in the pattern and maybe it'll pull like that. The problem is if they're trying to trap people and then it finally pulls up and then you're like, oh, well, actually, you kind of could say there was a W in there. And that's why I'm waiting for the total crypto market cap to give me that final signal. We're not quite through this pattern all the way yet. Close. We're very close on this part of it. But that's my interpretation of the market. Let me know what you think in the comments. I would really appreciate it if you want to trade XRP like I do, or crypto for that matter. Even in the USA, I have two great options for you. MEXI and or BITGET. You can future trade up to 250x. You can short or long the market. And there's no spot fees on the buy and sell. So you can buy XRP, sell it. There's no spot fees. And then also, if you want to join Tom's Army or send a little bit of thanks and for these updates, or just because you're feeling thankful for this Easter, you can send XRP. It's in the video description below and or pinned comments. And the reason I do XRP is we talk about it all the time. You might as well see how it works and see how perfect it is when you send money or send the XRP. So, but just remember, watch the market. If you see the total crypto market cap break under here, and it's very critical here. If you see the total crypto market cap confirm a break below 1.139, get your hats on, get your diapers on, because it's going to be a shitstorm. It's going to get bad. So, but that we can't confirm it yet, because this could all be one giant fake out. Like I always say, they could be faking out the market. But that's what it is, folks. That's what I got for you. Make sure to hit that like button. I appreciate each and every one of you.